What's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. So as you can tell by the title, we are finally going to be finishing up top 3 scariest moments of a female dealer, part 3. I'm actually really relieved that we're on part 3 because these are just really difficult moments to share with you guys. But like I said, we're done. This is the final episode of that. And if you are new to my channel and this is the first one that you have seen, please go down to the description box and watch part 1 and part 2 and maybe some other videos on my channel just so you can get a backstory of who I am. I am in no way glamorizing or glorifying being in that world, going to prison, or none of that. It is my hope that in sharing these stories, it will deter you guys from making the same mistakes I made or just shed some light on that culture and that world that I was in for so long. So before we get started, I have one tiny little announcement. Did you guys know I have a second channel? It is called The Jessica and Reese Show. It's just a really fun, laid back, chill place where we do stuff like cooking this week, or Reese goes to the gym, or I haul some crap and do some makeup and stuff. So, you know, it's kind of a fun space, and I will leave that down below. I will also leave it on the card up here, so go check that out. Go say what's up, you know, hang out with me over there as well. All right, without further ado, let's get into top 3 scariest moments of a female dealer, part 3. So this story takes place in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and this is a really dark time of my life. I was a full-blown meth addict at this time, and man, it's so foggy. My memory is clouded, but I remember this day like it was yesterday. I can remember the way the room smelled. I can remember the sounds. I remember how I was feeling. I remember details. I remember what these people were wearing. It's crazy that I can remember it so vividly, but so many other things I can't remember. It's very strange how my brain works in recovery and has worked all through that. So there are a lot of times where I don't remember something and someone else brings it up and I'm like, oh wait, yeah, I kind of do remember that. It's like suppressed, if that makes sense. Probably not, I don't know, but this was 2011 in Fort Smith, Arkansas. I was with baby daddy, and I had let my guard down this day. So something that we would do periodically when we sold meth in Arkansas, and I have gone to prison for this, we would get hotel rooms and we would trap out of hotel rooms or sell meth out of hotel rooms. That way there wasn't any traffic at our house, and we would change up where we were all the time. Sometimes it would be a nice hotel, sometimes it would be a horrible crack shack hotel, which is where this scene takes place. Are you surprised? Probably not. So baby daddy got into a lot of debt with a lot of people, unbeknownst to me. I had no idea until situations would arise and I would piece things together. And when I say piece things together, I mean, I didn't speak the language. I didn't speak Laos. I barely speak Spanish. It was very difficult for me to understand what was going on a lot of the time. So there would be days where he would come home and he's like, oh, I lost $800, or I owe this person $1,000, I owe this person that, and we would have to hustle up to get whatever it is that he needs. I was not good with holding debts or having people think that I wasn't good for the money. That drove me nuts. My reputation in that world meant everything to me. And I realize saying that now how foolish that is. But to me, back then, drug dealing Jessica, addict Jessica, my word is my bond. I want you to know that I'm good for it. I don't want you to think that people that I associate with are gonna run and gun on you. I don't want you to think that my people are ever gonna do any shady shit. And that really meant a lot to me, and I don't know why, because I do know why. I was loyal to all the wrong people. Once people in that world realize that you don't have any drugs, or you're gone, or you're in prison, they're not there for you. How many letters do you think I got in prison from the people that I ran the streets with? 0. So if you're a youngster and you're watching this, or you're in that world and you're watching this, just know that your friends are probably not going to be there when you go to prison, and that is a really hard lesson. If you're running around on those streets and you think those people are down for you, they're not. I've had people that I thought would never rat me out write statements on me. That's just the reality of that world. It's just as real as I can put it. So anyway, my reputation meant a lot to me, and I didn't want to be in debt. I didn't want people to think I was shady. I didn't want people to think that I was going to rob them or steal from them. So back to the story. We were in this really gross crack shack hotel in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and we had a lot of meth at this time. So we were we knew this night was going to be busy. We knew that we were going to have to sell quantity to people, and that always made both of us nervous because you could get arrested at any time. There was no telling if, you know, the cops could storm in on us. We're not in a good area. We don't know if someone else could come in and rob us. It was a very stressful situation to have that much meth in a hotel room. This hotel, or actually it was a motel, this motel was an outdoor motel. There's no back exit, there's nothing. There's one entry into that motel. So if the cops wanted to just storm in, where could we go? Absolutely nowhere. So it wasn't a good decision, but it was a decision that we made nonetheless so that traffic wasn't at our house. We also rented 2 separate apartment buildings. A runner ran for us out of one of the apartment buildings that we rented, in my real name, believe it or not. And then we rented another trap house, really sketch places that we would trap out of sometimes, but for whatever reason, we still like to go to hotels and just add a little bit of danger to an already really fucked up situation. I was on drugs. Anyway, moving on for the story. This night was already going to be stressful because of the quantity that we had, because of the clientele that we had. We had to make deals with people we didn't necessarily trust, and it was always in our best interest to not let anyone know how much we have. However, the person that baby daddy entrusted to sell for him, runner, not my runner, his runner, he told what our re-up was going to be. So there was that. We also went to someone else. So we had a regular connect that we would go to a lot. Unbeknownst to me, baby daddy had a debt with this person. So we had to go to someone else and get dope from someone else. And that's not very good for this reason. When you're buying large quantities of something from one person and they find out that you bought a large quantity from someone else, they're mad they didn't get that business. Anyway, so when I found out that someone knew how much our re-up was going to be, I was very mad. I was very stressed, and I wanted to just kind of relax. I didn't want to be stressed out this night. I knew it was already going to be stressful. I knew that this was probably going to go bad, so I smoked a lot of weed, if I'm being honest. I smoked an entire blunt by myself, and I had this mason jar full of really good weed, and it took me a long time to find in Arkansas. It is what it is. I don't know if Arkansas has better weed now, but in 2011, it was actually really difficult for me to find really good weed. And the sad thing is, I could find really good quality meth, but I couldn't find really good quality weed. So that's like really sad. I don't smoke weed now, but like I'd always smoked weed back in my addiction. So I smoked an entire blunt to myself, and I was very, very calm, as you can imagine. So it was probably around 1 a.m. I was playing a game on my iPod Touch. Do y'all remember those? I was playing a game on my iPod Touch, and 3 Hispanic gentlemen came into the room. Now, when I first looked up, I didn't see them as a threat, which is odd because they were, but I didn't see them as a threat immediately. And it took me a little while to be uncomfortable. And let me explain why. One of the Hispanic gentlemen sat by the TV. There's like a TV and a dresser and like a little place that you can sit over here, and it's by the door. He sat right there, and they left the door open, which was also very strange. If this is a drug deal, why is the door open? But they left the door open, and then one person was standing by baby daddy. Baby daddy was sitting on the bed. One person was sitting over here, and the third Hispanic guy was kind of in the corner. He walked all the way to the end where the bathroom was in the hotel room. He just stood there like this with his arms crossed. Y'all can't see my arms. Like this. So I'm watching this. They're speaking in Spanish. They're speaking very fast in Spanish, and I kind of just tuned it out for a minute because I didn't understand what they were saying. And then I picked up a word. Mota. Yo quiero mota. And I thought, that's my mota. He said, I want your weed. But I'm like, that's my weed. Why are you talking about it, right? So the word picked up in my brain, and I understood what he said, and it got my attention. So when I looked up and I'm kind of looking around and they're talking more, I realized that the guy that was sitting down on the dresser thing, he has a gun on his hip. And I just thought, whoa. Why do you have that right now? Why did you bring that here? So now my mind is like, da-da-da-da-da. I had also used meth that day the most recent chemical that I put in my body was weed. So they're talking and I look over at baby daddy and he looks really nervous. And he's speaking Spanish to them. He speaks fluent Spanish, fluent Laos, fluent English. He's speaking Spanish to him and I'm looking and I'm just like, oh my God. So one of the Spanish guys that was standing up and talking to baby daddy said, I like your watch. Baby daddy took off the watch and gave it to him. And I thought, what? Why did you do that? But I didn't say anything because I'm still trying to understand what is going on, right? And then he said, I like your phone. I like this, I like that. And he starts slowly giving this guy things and giving him items. And I heard baby daddy say, and I understood him saying, I don't have any cash. I understood that. No tengo dinero. I understood that. So when he had said, I like the weed, he didn't reach for it right away because it's mine. And baby daddy knew that I was gonna be a little chihuahua about it, you know? So this guy now has a watch and a phone and all this stuff out of the hotel room, iPod, all this stuff, right? And then finally, you know, he's like, he says it again, yo quiero mota. And I was like, no, my mota. And I said, whoa, what are you doing? What's going on? That's mine. And baby daddy went like that. Like, you guys can't see me. He went like that, like try to like shut me up. But as soon as I said, hold up, homeboy, that's mine, that guy said, yo quiero tu novia. I want your girlfriend too. And I understood that. And baby daddy stood up and he's like, yo, I got speakers in the car. Why don't you come get the speakers out the car? And this is a very sketched moment for me. And I just thought, he wanted to take me with him, you guys. He wanted to take me. He took all this stuff, and then when I stood up and I said something like, yo, you can't take my weed, bro. He's like, yo quiero tu novia. I want your girlfriend. And I thought, oh, are you kidding? Are you kidding? So baby daddy immediately stood up, and I got some speakers in the car. So he told me to sit down. He walked out, and the guys followed him out to the car, and baby daddy tried to close the door, and one of the guys slammed it open. He would not let baby daddy close that door. And I thought, oh my God, my heart is pounding out of my chest because now it's like you've taken everything that we have and you want to take me with you. And I don't know if you're going to try to come back in the room. So they're talking a little bit, they're going back and forth, they're taking speakers out this car, you guys. And I just thought, oh my God, what is happening? What is happening? So just it was my instinct to hide the meth. It was on my side of the bed. So for them to figure out that we had it, they would have had to go to my side of the bed and kind of underneath where the little side table is. We kind of had it in between the side table and the bed, kind of tucked underneath the bed a little bit. But it was a very large bag, so it wouldn't have been very difficult for them to see it. So I take it out of there and I put it in a backpack, and I put the backpack kind of where the coat rack is, and I throw a sweater over it, and I'm trying to hide it. I also have cash on me. So I hid that underneath the mattress really quickly. I mean, I must have done that in 30 seconds. You guys, it was such a nerve-wracking thing for me, and it was so scary for me because I didn't understand what they were saying. And keep in mind, I had people approach me to try to kidnap me in Fort Smith months before. And I'm pretty sure I told that story on my channel too. And that was something that was just so, like, I was nervous that they were gonna take me. So they're ripping the stereo out of the car, ripping the speakers out of the car. They put them in the truck. They drove a white truck, a really kind of busted up white truck. They get in the truck and they drive away. Baby daddy is standing outside and starts to smoke a cigarette, and he paces for a second, and I could tell that he's watching to see if they're gonna turn around and come back. They didn't, so he said, let's go. And I thought, what is going on? And he's like, let's go. He's not explaining anything to me. He's not saying anything to me. He doesn't want me to even talk to him about this right now. So we walked around to the side where the meth was, and he's like, where is it? And I said, I put it in the bag up there, because I didn't know what was going on. I'm surprised that dude standing by the coat rack didn't look over, because, you know, these motel rooms are really small. I'm surprised he didn't see it. So baby daddy snatches the backpack. He's throwing other things that they didn't take in the backpack. He's like, let's go. And we get in the car, and we're driving off. This white truck follows us now, and it's like, oh my God, you guys, I'm so nervous and I'm so stressed out, and I really think that they are going to now either shoot at us or just follow us. And I thought it was gonna be more dramatic than it was, and thankfully it wasn't, but they were following us, and then finally they just turned off. And we drove around for a little while, and then we went back to his house. We went back home. And As soon as we get inside, I'm like, what was that about? What is going on? Why'd they take all your shit? What is happening? And he said, I owe this person, who is now in federal prison for a really long time, I owe this person money, and they wanted to take whatever it was worth. They wanted the cash, but they didn't get the cash. I'm never gonna come off money. We can make up that stuff. It's not a big deal. And I thought, I mean, okay, how much do you owe this person? And he said like $1,000. And I'm like, why would they send 3 people with guns over $1,000? Like, we can just pay that really easily. And he said, you don't understand. We still have to pay even though they took all this stuff. And I'm like, why wouldn't you tell me that you owe someone this money? So it was like really stressful for me because I don't speak the language. It was so shady. It was so sketch. And it seemed to have lasted a really long time. You know, it was probably only like a 15-minute ordeal, but it seemed like it was going forever. And I remember in that moment, sitting in that motel room thinking, you need to tell someone that they're going to shoot you because, you know, they got a little bit aggressive with things. I know that guy wanted to take me out of the room and I was scared. I really thought that they were gonna snatch me up. And then they followed us after that. It was just so scary. I am so lucky that that didn't escalate and they didn't take me with them, because God only knows what would have happened. I'm so lucky that baby daddy stuck up for me and didn't allow them to take me too. It was very stressful. And this was on the heels of those girls being shot and killed over a weed deal gone bad. So it was just a really stressful time in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and it was a time that I'll never forget. I want to end this video on this note. If you are in the street, if you're running around, it is so dangerous. It is so dangerous. It could literally cost you your life. And drug addiction is a battle that you have to fight, because drug addiction will also take your life. So if you are still struggling with addiction, please reach out for help. If you are still in that world, please find the strength to get out of it. It is very dangerous. And I think we always think it's not gonna happen to us. We always think, oh, I'm fine. Oh, I'm not gonna get shot. Oh, I'm okay. We think that until it happens. So I'm gonna end today's video here. I love you guys. Stay safe, stay sober. Do not run around in those streets. And I'll see you all in my next one.